Johnny Mundo and the lovely Taya. Lucha Underground Season 2 starts tonight. El Rey Network, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Tonight.
Yes.
Wednesday.
Next.
8 p.m. 8 p.m. 8 p.m.
That was Dave.
I love it. Super excited, obviously, for Season 2. Johnny, I mean, Season 1, you were incredible. The feud with Puma, your aggression, your matches, the whole 9 yards. Tell us about last season. What can we expect for this season?
How I was so incredible. Oh, man. I love questions like this. Well, it's... last season was really cool to be a part of Lucha last season because it was a new promotion finding its identity, and it really evolved even within itself for Season 1. Lucha itself, I feel like, is fast-paced, hard-hitting, high-flying, even more so than the type of stuff that we're used to in America. And Lucha Underground combined that with like the action film vibe of Robert Rodriguez.
Oh yeah,
and the storytelling of like American pro wrestling, and it really was cool to be a part of Season 1.
Were you pleasantly surprised by the reviews because it created a buzz? I mean, there was a bit of a question whether the American audience was going to accept it, but by the reviews, it seems like they did.
I was. I wouldn't say pleasantly surprised because I had really high expectations. Mm-hmm. Although I'm really stoked that people liked it and responded to it, because if they didn't, I would have been bummed.
Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah.
So we end last season with Melina, and I think from what I hear, we begin this season with Taya. So so how does Taya work in, and talk about now you jumping into the mix here in Season 2?
You want to? Well, I don't know what happened in Season 1, but here I am now in Season 2. I'm just really excited to be part of this project, to be honest. I've been working so hard in Mexico and making a name for myself down there and representing, a foreign whitey
in a Latin champion,
the queen of first ever foreign woman to be the Queen of Queens champion. So now I think it's a really natural transition for me to be moving on to Lucha Underground with everyone else that's the big talent from AAA. And I think that the roster in Lucha Underground is unreal. So it's a great opportunity.
The glasses.
The glasses, come on.
You gotta have the look, man. This is SiriusXM,
I was thinking, I was like, man, I don't feel like I'm myself. And I wasn't wearing my sunglasses. I realized it's the source of my power.
This ain't no make-believe. No, sorry. A little bit of a flashback there. Taya, now, seeing you here coming to the SiriusXM lobby, heads turn. Now, it's not just because you're beautiful, but because you're jacked as well. I mean, do you get that? I mean, you're walking down the hallway, heads turn when they see you.
Think about how I feel in Mexico, when I'm like taller and blonder and whiter than everybody. And so
Mexico City's supposed to be a dangerous place.
But I think everyone's just scared of me. They're like, oh God, who is that? But no, it's I don't know. I think it's important to look the part, be ready for whatever comes my way. I'm fighting guys in Lucha Underground, so
nice.
I've got to be ready to hold my own. And there ain't no sissy valeting going on around here. This is
me and Taya.
Yeah,
I do parkour so I can run away. She trains biceps so she can fight.
I train biceps and triceps so I can punch him in the face. Yeah.
So I mean, obviously you mentioned the health and fitness. You're obviously one of the more jacked guys in the business.
Obviously.
I mean,
hello.
Hey, listen.
Thanks, bro.
It's Johnny Mundo, we could be, we're cool like that. At the same time, though, the acting career, tell us where that's going with you, Johnny.
I'm been really excited about the acting career. It's I was a film major at UC Davis before I started wrestling, and I took a bunch of drama classes and made little short action films in college, and
which I'm still trying to find on YouTube. Like, where are these?
They're on
what kind of action?
On VHS somewhere.
The Foot of Death is about a dude with a very dangerous foot, and I made another one called Kung Fu, but
interesting
about the old college movies.
Oh boy,
let's talk about Sanford Meisner and Udahagen, acting stuff. The studying acting is made me think about portraying my wrestling character differently. And I feel like I've been able to get deeper into the character, and really a lot of acting is learning about yourself too. So a lot of self-exploration and learning about who I am as a person, who I want to be in the ring. And I feel like taking that and applying it to wrestling is taking me to a whole new level with Lucha Underground.
Does it feel good in Lucha Underground to have that freedom as a wrestler? We know, in the past, your character and how strong that was. But, sometimes it took a back seat when it comes to your pro wrestling. How is it to have the full picture in Lucha Underground?
Amazing. And I think you just laid it out there really well. It's like Lucha Underground, here's the canvas.
Do what you like.
Paint whatever kind of picture you want. And the office and the creatives and production are receptive to ideas. So I feel like I have what I wanted my whole career with Lucha Underground, which is the creative autonomy to come up with ideas for who I want to be in the ring, the kind of matches I want to have, people are receptive to everything, and it's a business, so no one gets to do whatever they want all the time. But Lucha Underground is a collaboration, and it's very well produced, and it's great to be a part of.
Yeah, and listen, there's people from previous engagements for you, a Krista Joseph, a Chavo, but now
even Eric Van Wagenen I got to meet on the Tough Enough that Stone Cold was doing back in the day.
Wow.
And there's a lot of guys that I've bumped into before. Big Rick from season 1. Son of Havoc, M-Dog 20. I had the pleasure of meeting a bunch of times, and Taya I'd met a couple times in Mexico even before. Because
when you worked for AAA and stuff like that. So.
Sure, and then now throwing Rey Mysterio into the mix. Interesting.
Holy crap! Get any better than
it's a
Rey
little
Mysterio.
bit. The roster is
that's pretty good.
Yeah,
yeah.
We don't even have enough time to really talk about Rey.
Go.
He's like as far as Lucha goes, when you hear Lucha Libre,
you think of Ray.
Yeah,
it's Ray.
Ray is like Jesus in Mexico. That dude is like
he is like literally guy. The people like absolutely lose their mind throwing babies money. I don't know, like just they here take the only chicken I got in my house like crazy.
One time, after a show, me, Ray, and Hector Garza's nephew was driving, and dude like totally ran a red light, and we got pulled over. And it was Mexico City, and the police
oh God, they just pull you over.
And they were like in Spanish, like asking Garza to get out of the car, and Ray's like, "Hey, just tell him I'm back here." And
nice. That's how it works. That's how it works. And, real police work. Real
walked
police
back there,
work.
and they looked at Ray and were like super apologetic immediately. They were like, "So sorry, we didn't know you had Rey Mysterio in the car." And Ray got out. We took pictures, and they were like,
"That's what they do."
Sorry to interrupt your night.
God.
That was it. Like
I've been pulled over in Mexico, and they literally like come to the window, and they're like, "We don't like Conan." I'm like, why are you like? Are you pulling me over if I did something, or because you're pissed off because La Sociedad is making you mad? Like it's just
Oh,
see,
man.
Doug, if that was me, I'd be giving you a call saying I'm in jail. Please, you gotta get me out.
I would bail you out eventually.
Thank you. Taya, we know the wrestling's a crazy business, and I'm sure you've got stories. Give us a little story. Maybe a fish out of water type of story for you. Being in AAA and now being a part of Lucha Underground.
Well, I mean, I just think that I could talk about this for hours, honestly. But it was specifically like when I first came to Mexico. I mean, I didn't speak Spanish. I didn't know anything. I was, going to my first shows, and there wouldn't be the basic necessities, let's say. How about you change behind this tent? There's a big bale of hay. You can use that as a table. It was just, it's been crazy, and I've been in rings that literally you don't even. You're like, when was the last time this was cleaned? I've wrestled in the rain, where there's puddles in the ring, and you're literally just exchanging heat, and Fabio Pace and me are literally just throwing each other into these puddles because we're being assholes to each other. And, it's just, it's crazy. There's just been, I have a large appreciation for being in the Lucha Underground set for sure, because I've seen it all, honestly. So
yeah, the temple is step up, right?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, like, the big AAA shows, it's a lot different, but when we go on a lot of these house shows, we're taking these buses up until up into the mountains where people look at us like like gods, and literally they just want to touch you, they're handing you their baby and taking pictures and grabbing you. It's crazy, but it's like it's insane, like, and you have such a different.
You got your dog.
Oh yeah, like I have this dog, and I was doing in my entrance in San Luis Potosí, and I'm part of the Los Perros del Mal, obviously, and this little kid was standing in the front row with this little like hamster looking thing. And he's like, Taya, huera loca, el perro es para ti. Like, this dog is for you. And I was like, what? And I like walk up to, and I'm like doing my entrance, and I'm trying to be all, Taya-ish, get in the ring, and I'm like talking shit to Fabi, and I'm like, I think that dog's for me. Like, what is going on here? And then this family came backstage and handed me this little tiny dog in a blanket with a bag of food and said, here you go. I saw you tweeted about some pictures of dogs.
But you kept the dog.
What?
But it was so cute. Like, what am I supposed to do with it? I love animals. So I kept the dog. Milan is
I don't know.
Milan is now a fan favorite, and
Well, yeah, the dog's all over Instagram and Twitter.
yeah, exactly.
Right?
The dog's very famous. He's got great heat with some people. He's over. But it's crazy. Like the fans of Mexico are insane. And I think that's what kind of makes it fun. You do appreciate a lot of things when you come back on the other side, but that's being there really made me who I am today as far as like my wrestling talent. I grew up a lot in the 4 years that I've been there, and I couldn't be more thankful for what Pero did for me and for what Conan's done for me.
Yeah.
Well, I'm having trouble potty training my dog, so I may just give that to you the next time
No,
I'm in
please
Mexico.
don't. I'm good with one. Thanks.
Take to a wrestling event. Pick a wrestler.
Pick a wrestler, give it to him, give him a bag of food, and send him on his way. Like, I hadn't thought about having, like, come on.
You a dog and a 4-year-old.
Like,
You're welcome. Merry Christmas.
Snap.
like, oh God.
Lucha
Yeah.
Underground Season 2 starts tonight, El Rey Network. Johnny, got to ask you this, too, because I know you keep up with WWE. In fact, I saw your tweet at Real Morrison, still at Real Morrison. Royal Rumble, and you're like, hey, this is a great event, and who knows what the future could be. I'll ask you like this. I'm watching WWE, and now AJ Styles is on my screen. So,
What is going on?
Exactly. In terms of the world being turned topsy-turvy, I mean, a Kevin Owens, a Sami Zayn, obviously what, Punk and Bryan have kind of blazed the trail. It's unbelievable what the thought process in WWE is now as far as who a top guy can and should be, and what it was when you were there and prior to. Definitely different, I would say.
Never, ever would have that happened in the 80s, for sure. I mean, even...
You were around in the 80s?
No, like I'm saying. Like when,
We said, and prior.
How old are you?
I was alive in the 80s. I was watching wrestling in the 80s. But what I mean is the average size and like the ability of wrestlers has changed significantly. You're right. Like in the 80s, you got like your monsters, Barbarian, Warlord, Crush, like Smush. Was there a Smush?
Smush. I don't think there's a Smush. Sounds good though.
I just throw it out there. But like your big bodybuilder types, like your behemoths, the Land of the Giants, versus it's kind of trended down towards smaller guys like Brett and Sean, kind of leading the way for that. And now, like you're right, like
It's crazy.
guys like Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens and AJ, who are really like when you look at AJ, like just really like super talented and because of that, like captivating audiences. And I think part of it is the fans. It's they're accepting that they're entertained by someone who's just charismatic and talented, and doesn't necessarily have to be 6'8", and it's more interesting because of.
I think they appreciate the wrestling more now, and they are seeing exactly what the talent is, as opposed to just seeing, the cookie cutter version of what they're expecting to look at.
Which is why Lucha's a success too. I mean, when I watch Lucha Underground, sure, you have the Robert Rodriguez, almost like docudrama, wild, crazy stuff,
graphic novel,
and then boom, you morph in, and the wrestling just smacks you in the face. How could you avoid it? How could you not be enthralled?
And the
with
talent that is, those guys from AAA, like Phoenix and Pentagon and myself and others, no, like it's just so different than what you would normally see. And I think that that's what makes us so different.
Can't wait for season 2, Dougie.
Yeah.
Lucha Underground
I
season 2.
And listen, to throw out a shout out or two, like let's just deal with like an Angelico. I hope I'm saying it nicely.
Angelico.
But a guy
Love
like
him.
that, like I watch him and I'm like, my God, like why? This guy is insane.
He's a lunatic who jumps off like the tops
Seriously.
of things and like what is that? It's a cat. Like
no fear.
Zero
Not
fear.
even just no
Zero
fear, 'cause
miedo.
There's a lot of guys that have no fear,
Nice.
but he's got talent too, and like
He's
got a
such a
whole
nice
thing.
guy too. Like he's just. I think that's the other thing is every person on our roster is like super positive and fun, and there's. Yeah.
I mean, he's
It's so easy to work with everybody.
super fun to beat up.
Yeah, we just love it.
A Phoenix, I think you mentioned Phoenix. Like
Oh,
he's
yeah.
out of
Like,
control.
what's going on?
Yeah.
Phoenix's like talent is like, I mean, Puma, Phoenix, Pentagon, Cuerno,
Everybody.
like the the originality and talent and different like sets of movements that these guys have is just ridiculous.
And you guys, you can hold your own. I mean, come on now.
We can't wait for you guys to see what's going to happen.
Not a sissy ballet from what we're hearing.
I'm
Not a
trying to be
sissy ballet.
modest, but obviously.
I'm just going to put it out there. We're pretty damn cool.
Stars of the show, Doug. Stars of the show.
I
Hello,
love it.
Taya Mundo. What's
Yeah,
up?
I love it.
Taya Mundo.
Johnny Mundo. Lucha Underground Season 2 tonight, El Rey Network, 8 p.m. Eastern. No, we'll be watching.
Every Wednesdays,
Love
8 p.m. Eastern Time. El Rey Network. Por favor.
Look it up if you don't know what it means.